Hello everyone, this is Igor here from the Hypnosis Training Academy. I'm here with my good friend, fellow hypnotist and fellow hypnosis trainer, Steve Rame.
Good morning.
Good morning, Steve. So I wanted to introduce you to Steve for a couple of reasons. First of all, we started the Hypnosis Training Academy for a very important reason, at least one I think is very important, which is hypnosis has been developed very far of late, and we've got a lot of cool things that we've been doing and teaching. And I don't want people to think that it's all just about me, what I can do and so on. Really, in order to change the world of hypnosis, it's all of us pulling together. And the idea of the Hypnosis Training Academy is to bring up people of the same caliber so we can spread this kind of message, this higher quality of hypnosis, shall we say, around the world. And this is why I'm really pleased and proud to present Steve to you, because Steve is one of our trainers. He's actually come through one of our ranks. He's learned hypnosis from scratch almost from us.
From the beginning.
From the very beginning. Of course, he had some trainings of that before. I think he did some NLP and stuff like that before.
Sure. Yeah, I've studied NLP and hypnosis for the last 15, 20 years.
Right. And the reason I'm so pleased to have Steve as part of our team is because I think Steve really proves the fact that this is not a one-hit phenomenon. This is not just about what Igor can do. This is something that anyone can replicate who puts the same passion and dedication in, which Steve has done. So do you take us, give us a few words about your training philosophy, about how to get people to really have the kind of skills that we're talking about?
Well, I think, when I'm teaching, I really just like to have fun. And I think that's probably the most important thing, is letting people have a good time in the training, because you learn so much more when you're having fun. And going through the immersion experience, actually being immersed in the techniques, learning the techniques, and then practicing them. Because then you can make the mistakes in the room where we can actually help you overcome those mistakes. And then when you get out in the real world, you've already done those things and you don't have to worry about them anymore. So, but a lot of fun. I like to laugh a lot.
So yeah, thanks for that, Steve. And I'd like to get an experience of what I mean by this. And if you just stick with us for a moment, Steve did a nice little demonstration for us of the non-awareness set. So I think you'll get a chance to see just how much fun Steve does have when he's up on stage teaching. And importantly, also just how good he really is. So check out this clip, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Really, he's been a huge inspiration for me. I found Igor's work, probably it's almost 10 years ago now, I guess. And started following him and went through the conversational hypnosis training that he did in Palm Springs back in 2007, 2008. I can't remember exactly when it was now, because I was in such a profoundly deep trance when I left that place. It's all a blur. You can appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody who's gone through the conversational hypnosis training can appreciate that. Who's been through the conversational training? Anybody? Okay. Yeah, and it's mind-blowing, isn't it? By the middle of the week, you really don't have a clue what's happening. Yeah. And that's exactly where you're supposed to be in the middle of those trainings, because it's really breaking you out of your old patterns and getting you to start to think in new ways. And Karsten, myself, and Martin have been fortunate enough to have been trained by Igor as trainers. We teach the conversational hypnosis training now, and what we want to demonstrate for you is just a simple part of that, because there are several different components that go into the conversational protocol itself. And we obviously don't have time to get into that because it's a 6-day training, but we just wanted to give you a quick demonstration of what we call the non-awareness set. And it's something that's really fun that you can use, because what you guys are learning this weekend is these inductions. Well, the beautiful thing is that every single thing that you encounter can be used as an induction. Everything. And if you haven't really got a grasp of that yet, then by the end of this weekend you will. Because you really can use anything. I mean, you saw it happen a few minutes ago with the nonverbal induction, which really, how profound was that? Just to see that happening right there in front of you. But, Karsten and I, we worked together before, and we spent some time together in Mexico, and actually did something, I don't know if it was similar to what we're going to do, because I have no idea where this is going to go. Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing about these demonstrations, is we never have any idea where they're going to end up. And I'm not even sure if there's anything you want to work on, because we didn't prep for this at all. We just decided a little while ago that this was going to happen this evening. So
that's a very good question.
It is a very good question, isn't it? That's right.
Well, I would say there's something that I'm not completely aware of that I want to be working on.
I'd say there's something already happening.
Yeah.
So the beautiful thing is you don't even have to be aware of what you're working on to be working on it. Because the unconscious mind always knows there's something that needs to be changed and something that needs to be different. And that's right.
That's right.
Yeah. See, there it goes already. Because, the interesting thing is the unconscious mind cannot not communicate.
Mm-hmm.
I've been standing in the back of the room watching all of you today. And each and every one of you have demonstrated unconscious movements that you don't have a clue that you've been doing. Most of you are doing it right now. Just the simple nodding of your head is an unconscious response. Because how many people go, okay, well, I'm going to do this. What was that? You don't know? I don't know either, because it came from you, so it must mean something that it came from you. That you're not even aware that you just did something and you don't even know why it happened. It's true. It is true. So it must mean something, does it not? That you just did something that you didn't know you were going to do, and if you didn't know you were going to do it and you did it anyway, then it must mean your unconscious mind did something that you're not aware that you were going to do, yes? Exactly. See, you know. It's quite amazing what the unconscious mind does, all the time. And it's very much like a machine. And once it learns how to do something, it will continue to do it. That's why I can point this out to every single person, because there's not a person in this room that doesn't nod their head at some point. And I guarantee you don't think about doing it, 999,999 times. You don't even know what's happening, do you? See? What was that? See, we're all doing things we're not aware of. Even as I sit here and move my hands, I don't know what these things are doing. In fact, I just came to the realization that they were moving. Why? I don't know. And you don't know.
Nope.
No, because you can't know. Because we can't really mind read people, can we? We can't know what's happening between somebody's ears. We can have an idea that something is transpiring there, but not have a clue exactly what that means. And most of the time, even the movements we have, we don't know what they are and what they represent. This is pretty simple. This is an agreement with something on some level. It's a positive response in relation to something that you're experiencing. But something as simple as Chester moving his foot. I can tell by the smile on his face he wasn't thinking about that. Crossing your arms. Did you think about that?
No, I was just copying.
Oh, you're copying him. Okay. So it's really quite interesting how the unconscious mind can do things that you're not aware of, yes? I mean, think about Karsten here. See? He's nodding his head right now. And that foot just moved. And you didn't know that was going to happen, did you?
No, not
But it
before I did it.
Not before you did it.
Again.
Well, you didn't have to think about it before you did it.
Nope.
Because you have an amazing unconscious mind, and I know that because we're friends. Even if we weren't friends, I would know that he has an amazing unconscious mind because each and every one of you do. It's so amazing that it does everything you don't have to think about, which is really profound when you think about that. It's even profound if you don't.
Right. Even if you don't have to think about it, it's still profound.
It really is. So do you know what you want to work on?
I do.
You don't have to say it unless you
I
want to.
won't. I won't directly, but there is something that I've been working on.
There is something you want to work on.
For the past year, and something is coming together right now, and I
Okay.
would like it to come together.
So there's
more
something you
quickly.
want to work on that you've
Yeah.
been working on for the past year, but
Yeah.
it's really just starting to come together now.
Yeah.
What is the end result for that for you? And you don't have to answer that
Oh, the
entirely.
end
but-
result. Oh, but the end result will be a state. A state of clarity.
State of clarity.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you're looking for at the end of all this, is just a state of clarity.
That's it.
How will you know you've already achieved that? What was that? Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah? I
You
what
pointed
it's-
it out,
I wonder what
so-
it's going to do it again.
That's a good question.
It is a good question. I mean, look at it and think about that for a minute. I mean, really focus on that. Or maybe it's just that little movement right there in your finger. Did you see that?
Mhm.
Yeah, there it is again. I wonder how your unconscious knows, and it's trying to explain to you that little bit of finger movement means that you're already beginning to find the clarity inside that you need. Did you know that?
I didn't.
You didn't, did you?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either, but it must be telling you something.
Possibly. Yeah.
Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it continues to do that. So if it continues to do that, then it must be telling you something. And I wonder if you even know what that means. You don't, do you?
I don't.
That's right, you don't.
Uh-uh.
And you don't really need to, know what that means. It's only your unconscious
Uh-huh.
that will give you the answers when it's the right time, won't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool, actually.
It is pretty cool,
Yeah.
isn't it? That it just continues to do that. I wonder which one's going to follow it here in a moment. Or maybe neither of them. Maybe the rest of them will just get heavier. I don't know. Maybe it's only a smile on your face that tells you that something's already beginning to change now. Because the more you focus on that, the more you begin to realize that this means something.
I already have a clue.
You do, don't you? It's interesting, isn't it? How quickly that can happen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I wonder, I'm really kind of curious about this, how much higher they can go. And what it means as it gets higher that, you're finding more clarity. Just like that. That's it. It's interesting, isn't it? How they can just continue to do that without you making it happen now. That's it. What's that? What was that smile?
I liked when you said, without you making it happen now, and I thought,
You did like that, didn't you?
yes.
Yeah, I kind of like that too.
Making that happen now was a nice suggestion. You are making that happen now.
You are making that happen now, aren't you? That clarity? Isn't that what you're after anyway, is seeing things in a different way and being more clear when you find yourself there?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you find yourself there and you already are clear in everything that you're doing, how good that's going to make you feel. That's right. See, there goes that head again. Because you're unconscious, and it knows something inside, don't you? There you go. Because it's really quite amazing how you can do things inside and not even know what your unconscious now is making happen for you. That's it. I wonder what's going to happen with that finger. That's it. It's interesting, isn't it? It's not doing what you expected it to do, is it?
I had no clue.
You didn't, did you?
No.
But there it is. I wonder what that means. And I wonder how that knows that it's time for you to go into a deep trance now. Maybe in your own time, in your own way, but you know what that means. That's right. Because eventually what will happen is, that's right, just like that. There you go. Just like that. That's right. That's right. That's right. Because even as you're drifting deeper in your mind with every breath you exhale right now, even with all the sounds you hear around you, because even if these people began to make more sounds, it would only take you to a deeper trance. To a place inside where your unconscious now is doing all the work you need to find that clarity. Because sooner than you think, and I know you think many things, you'll begin to see clearly exactly what you need to do. Just there you go. That's right. Just like that. Because you really do have an amazing unconscious mind. And even as you leave here today, and you find yourself walking down the streets in Amsterdam, I wonder what your unconscious mind will tell you then about how you're already creating that change inside now. But it's not really something you need to think about right now. I mean, you can go back into the room whenever you want to, because it doesn't matter to me how your unconscious mind is already doing the work for you. Only that it makes you feel good and that smile gets bigger before you open your eyes.
Everybody's still here.
They've been sitting here for an hour and a half waiting for you to come back.
Sorry.
Well, that was interesting, wasn't it?
It is.
It's just a simple little thing like that.
Yeah, that hand
Yeah.
still kind of.
It is still kind of doing its own thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't want to bore everybody with, what's already happening here in his mind. But I wonder what he's going to experience here in a moment that's going to make you all smile.
Uh-oh.
I guess that was it. That's right. Just like that. Just like that. You had no idea that was going to happen, did you?
No.
Because you know what's going to happen as soon as it touches your face, don't you? Yeah, you do.
Some of it I do.
Some of it you do,
Mhm.
yeah. I wonder which is going to go into trance faster, your hand or your face. I guess we'll know in just a moment. Now, that's right. Just let yourself relax all the way down now. All the way down now. All the way down now. That's it. And deeper. And deeper. And deeper. All the way down. All the way inside. Because it is inside, where you're unconscious. And that's where all the work is happening. Because you'll find yourself beginning to do many things you didn't know you would do later. Maybe in Amsterdam, maybe when you find yourself back at home and you realize you already have that clarity inside. And you know exactly what to do to create that success you want. And you'll find yourself, you really find yourself, taking action to follow through. Because the more you do, the more clear things will be now. Even when you open your eyes and come back into the room in a moment, you'll feel that feeling of success is already in place because you'll see things in a different way now. Much clearer than you felt before. Isn't that interesting? Because here comes that smile now, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's really interesting how you can take things that are already happening right in front of you.
And hijack it.
Pardon?
And hijack it.
And hijack it. Sure, why not? Who's in control here?
The unconscious.
Well, I mean, as far as the two of us sitting in front of the room.
You are in control.
Of course, the hypnotist is always in control of the situation. Now, who's the most important person?
Hypnotic.
Always
Of
about the
course.
client.
It's always me.
It's always Karsten. That's what I tell all my clients. It's not about you, it's about Karsten. But you all experience these things, and you can use them, and you can even apply meaning to them.
Will you break it down for us? Did you actually do something, embedded suggestions? What we do?
What else do you want me to do? Basically what we're doing, and I could sit here and talk about what we did all day. Really, this is a half day of the conversational hypnosis training is going through just this process. Basically what we're doing is, you're right, we're hijacking what they're experiencing. It could be a deep breath, it could be a smile, it could be a frown, it could be anything that they're not aware of.
And the cool thing is I know pretty much everything that Steve is doing, but I can't do anything about it. Because I know. Of course, I'm aware of a lot of techniques or of a lot of patterns that he's using, because well, we're both teaching the same material. So, but I'm always surprised of how this plays out and
Yeah.
how it works out. So this is really a fantastic principle and technique to use, not only of itself, but also for any kind of induction and for any kind of change work.
Yeah, the beautiful thing about the conversational hypnosis protocol overall is that the components of it are interchangeable. So I may be having a pre-talk with one of my clients, and something, their finger will pop up like, oh, what was that? And all of a sudden I've got them going, I don't know, what are you talking about? I'm like, your finger just moved. No, it didn't. Well, yeah, it did. Watch it. It'll do it again. They focus on it. I mean, really keep focused on that, and all of a sudden the finger will pop up. See, I told you. And you didn't know that was going to happen, did you? No. But it did. And if you didn't know it was going to happen, and it did, then it must mean something, because the unconscious mind is not going to do something for nothing, is it? It's only going to do things that have meaning to it. Now, what that meaning is, we as hypnotists don't have a clue. Most of the time, 99.99999% of the time, the client doesn't have a clue what it means.
At least not at first.
Not at first. But then we give it some credibility that there is something going on there that the unconscious mind is trying to communicate. And we could run with this for hours, really.
Yes, and I made a big connection right from the start when you connected when it first happened that the finger popped up basically. It's strange. It's very hard to explain, but the connection, the interplay we had, you made a connection for me, and since I was already in trance, I didn't really think about it consciously too much. I just thought, wow, this is weird. This is kind of a new feeling, and you kept connecting these things for me, and all of a sudden I had this. Well, I did have a big insight. I did have a feeling that already stuff is starting to happen, in terms of clarity.